Yo, welcome back. This is the part of the show where we have our guests, our special guests, which makes this a special episode. So this is the friend of the show. She is the friend of everybody out there in the social media universe. If you don't know her, you're not from the West. You are not from Sydney, Australia. We have
Iconic, man.
Iconic social media guru and motivator, speech crazy, out there, alien of the universe.
Oh my goodness. Here it comes.
She goes by the name of L Song, L Rhythm.
Yeah.
The N Rhythm. But in French, it's Leanne Melody. What's up, Leanne Melody?
Leanne Melody, welcome back to the show.
Hey.
Oh, man.
I don't know if that is the best or the worst introduction I've ever had, but that was definitely the most creative. Props. That was
I remember
amazing.
last time when you were here, you said that was one of the best intros that I've ever had.
He wanted to go the other way.
I had to balance it out by giving you one of the worst.
Take it to the next level.
You know, so you can balance the average. So soon you'll just get an average one. The next one is going to be super average.
Okay. Love it. Always keeps it exciting.
How
Yeah,
you been,
I'm
Leanne?
fabulous. How are you?
Not bad. What you been up to since the last time that we saw you?
I think the last time we caught up was, we've caught up a few times, but I think the last time we caught up was that the listeners would have been was the event.
The event, you guys had the big 200 episode?
100
episode.
Yeah.
Huge. Which was what, like 6 months ago now?
So this is your third time.
This is my third time on the show.
Yeah, you hat trick
Tres.
guest. So
Love it.
let's
Twice.
rewind it back.
We don't have a rewind sound. Anyway,
Beginning of the year, what was going on in Leanne's life?
So much.
Big
So
things,
much,
big things.
guys. Honestly, I think last time we caught up, I was in a really exciting place. So for those of you that don't know me, I am a travel content creator / social media guru, mentor. And look, world's been flipped upside down, to say the least. I love it. You guys have upgraded your sound effects, I'm sure, since last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a time. So I had a really exciting year ahead. I plan to launch my international workshops, teaching people how to get paid to travel, teaching people how to build their brand on social media and travel around the world. So I set up like some awesome trips in Thailand, Philippines, New Zealand, etc. And I had worldwide. And I had some I love it. And I had some really, really cool trips planned with some awesome brands. But, borders closed, pandemic hit, and the world came tumbling down.
Screw you, COVID-19. Screw you.
You've got this plan.
I know, you just,
bro.
how do you know?
I'm he. Storytelling.
Yeah.
But yeah, the travel industry was one of those industries that got hit really, really hard when COVID hit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's not only just like I know hospitality got hit, everyone got hit. But the thing is, with travel, it's very much an ongoing thing, and it's hard to recover when the industry is losing millions of dollars every single week.
Yeah,
it's pretty rough.
It's crazy.
So I mean, in a nutshell, the industry that I'm working in has crumbled to pieces.
Yeah,
and I was left. Developed nation problems, right? Privilege problems, right? Oh, I can't go on my trips. But it still meant I lost the entirety of my income for the whole year. Everything that I was working towards. I launched my own workshops. I was really in this amazing place, setting myself up. I worked super hard last year to set this up, and this was meant to be the year. Last year was like sowing the seeds, and this was the year where I just got to like chill and travel and enjoy it all until dun dun dun.
COVID-19
coming to theaters today. Yeah, so rough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really rough.
So when you heard about this, because like you probably like what were you doing exactly? Do you remember that time where you first heard these news of the moment that COVID-19?
Where were you when COVID-19 hit?
Yeah, I knew about it, but I think like a lot of people, especially like a lot of free-spirited travelers, you know, you hear the news and it's like, oh, cool, swine flu, okay, Ebola. Like, you know, I've traveled during very high, like not highly dangerous, but I've traveled during times where there were health and safety issues in certain places. But I've always been the kind of person that's like, oh, I mean, unless I'm there, you know, you don't want to hear everything in the news. So I was actually in Japan when things started ramping up really quick. Damn. Yeah, I was in Japan and I was in the Philippines, and you know, COVID-19 had already hit, and I did have friends and family like really paranoid, you know, the ones that really jump on, like, you know, there's a volcano in Bali that erupts like 5,000 miles away, and they're just freaking out. Like,
yeah,
I had friends and family who were really concerned, but I was like, you know what? Nah,
She'll be right.
She'll be right. I was in Africa when Ebola hit, and everyone thought the same thing, yet geographically I was really far from it. But the news was really loud. So to be honest, I don't really take it seriously. I mean, I was safe, but I would never have known what had come to be of the year. Who would have known? Who would have known that borders will close and literally we can't fly anywhere?
It started off as a joke with the toilet paper shit, but then it got real serious real quick.
Really quick, yeah. So I remember being in Japan when the toilet paper debacle was happening all over.
Toilet paper caper.
Yeah, all over social media, and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
At least I was in Japan and there was the bidets, so I don't need toilet paper.
That story you put up. Yeah.
But did not take that seriously. Just did not understand the gravity of it all. So, it was a very interesting few months straight after. Thankfully, I landed in Sydney probably a couple of days before they had to do the lockdowns in the hotels, and things got really serious. So we just made it in time. But, you know, obviously having lots of friends in the industry, I know people who were stranded in XYZ countries, and it was a bit of a nightmare for them to get back. But everyone's so far has been safe.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
It's been nuts.
What the heck?
And like knowing your line of work, did you feel, was there a moment that you felt like, you know, this is not going to happen this year in terms of you traveling? You had lots of plans going to different places throughout the year, and then this lockdown thing happens. Did you recognize it quickly that, you know, no, I think my whole year has just been cancelled?
I'd like to say I'd have usually an optimistic flair on things. So no matter what, I thought, oh, it'll be all right, like whatever happens. And then it happened. And I was like, wait, what? I remember the moment waking up to an email that, hey, turns out that this thing is spreading quite rapidly, and even though we want to keep running our tours, you know, we just can't. It's not feasible. Looks like borders are closing everywhere. And I got firsthand information, you know, being in the travel space, about like what they were projecting about like lockdowns and closures of borders, which at the time sounded ludicrous.
Sounded ridiculous.
Luda.
Yeah.
And it was so insane, because after that hit, I remember it felt so surreal. It was like one after the other, email after email. And I was like, wait, no, no. Everything that I've been working on is like ripping away from my.
Yeah.
It's like sand just like falling through the slips of
Did
my
it happen all
fingers.
at once, all these
All
cancellations,
at
or
once.
did
Like,
it happen in a 10-day period? It's like 1 days,
Probably,
and then two cancellations.
yeah, probably
the
within
next.
a week, everything. And then I was just like, you know what? I don't think anything's happening. Plus, on top of that, I had my own. I launched my travel creator workshops. My first one being in New Zealand with my partner in crime, Dana. Shoutouts.
Hey.
We launched our road trip through New Zealand, teaching creators how to make content on the road, post for photos in like a fun way, and build your brand. And it was sick. It was an awesome itinerary. Built it out for the first time. Was just about to release tickets, and then they announced it. And every major tour operator I knew that I was working with this year had just. Got
pulled down,
yeah. Not only that, but my biggest source of income, my bread and butter brands that I was meant to do longer term work with, they went under. Like the whole company went under.
Damn.
So it wasn't even just that the tours were cancelled and postponed, but like, the industry has been massively affected, and who knows what travel will look like in the future.
And what was your first reaction? Was like, I guess I'm going back to retail, or I guess I'm going back to painting people's faces, which is not even a thing anymore, because like
I can't even paint faces.
I can't even go anywhere. It's gonna be hard to find a job.
Yeah.
What was your thought as soon as it happened?
I really had to sit with it, because I've always been someone who's just, always up and running, looking for the next big thing. And I think a lot of people were turning to me at that point when they realized that, oh shit, travel isn't going to happen. What's Leanne doing? I had so many people reach out, funnily enough. And it's crazy what people expected of me, because everyone just assumed I had it together. But what do you do when a pandemic hits? And this has never happened before. I just had no clue. And for the first time, I was just like, I don't have an answer, and I don't want to have an answer. I needed to sit in the shit. Yeah, so I sat in the shit. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and that's okay. Just like many of you watching who may have had their 2020 cancelled.
Yeah.
I like to think there's two camps of people. There's one camp that's like, oh, I have all this time. I'm in lockdown. I've got to do all the things. I really just got to do all the things. I have to get it all together. I have to get my life sorted. I have to be an entrepreneur. And they really force this productivity, this like very forced productivity that you have to do it.
Yeah.
And then there's another camp of people who don't want to sit in that space. They don't relate to that. They feel hopeless, and that's okay. And I can honestly say I was in both camps.
Yeah.
And I mean, right now, I'm in a great place right now. A few months in, I've been able to pivot, but I was only able to pivot after I had allowed myself to sit in the shit and be okay with not knowing, and then just scrapping everything. And you know what I'm learning so much through this period is that, you don't have control. No matter how much control you want, you don't have control of everything. And sometimes you just got to relax and let go in order for things to fall in your lap, in order for you to find your new path. You can be attached to the dream, and that you work, you take the actions needed to get there. But if things just don't go to plan, you can't force it.
Yeah. It's like everything just became bigger. Everything, and then you became real small, and the world was just a bigger place.
Yeah.
Say
like a wave.
you became a seed. So you became a seed, and then you have to be right in the shits. So
you can fertilize, and grow.
And then you grow into this plant.
Exactly.
Into this flower.
Love it.
And then what is this flower called? And we're going to call this flower the new opportunity. So you have to pivot and get
philosophical.
You have to pivot and get into this new lane that I reckon that you were naturally going to get into anyway. So
I think so too.
Yeah.
What was this new lane that you had to chase?
Well, I actually did feel like for a moment, oh my God, I'm going back to retail. I'm going back to customer service. I'm going back to an office job. And my mum was just like, I told you so. Oh, my God. I had to. And because I live with my family, you know them, like I haven't moved out because travel was such a huge part of my life. So lockdown with my family when I have no job, damn.
Can't escape them.
Cannot escape. And every waking day was just a reminder that, you see, I told you so. What have I told you for the past 7 years, Leanne? If you just do this, if you do that, if you go to the university. I mean, let's not go into that. But that was every single day.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'd rather like do 12 hours of retail than like suffer in this and try to build my own space. But yeah. I had I really had to get strong. Hey, like it was rough. It was a very rough, and I'm not going to lie, it was definitely tested when everything was kind of ripped. All the opportunities that you've been working hard for was ripped, and, you know, you lose grip of control. And that's, I think, so much. That's where, like, you know, having a deeper sense of faith or something bigger and better is out there needs to come to play. It can't just be all action, because sometimes you can put all the action you want, but if you don't have like a purpose bigger than you, then I mean, yeah.
I think it's
can't
such
stand on your 2 feet.
I think it's such an important message to have. Like you saying that you needed to sit in the shit first in order for you to figure it out.
Yeah.
To understand what your purpose is and then move forward.
Yeah.
I think a lot of time I was in the same as well, like both camps of thinking, this is an opportunity to get productive, and now I can build this and do this. And
he was planning to go gym throughout the whole thing, and the gym's closed.
I know.
And the other side as well, like I needed to kind of just sit in the shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no better way like than saying that.
Yeah.
Because it's like everything that I'd planned to do this year is kind of out the window. You know, I'm one of the lucky ones that still has a job, and like I recognize that. But like there are times for the people listening out there, it's okay to not feel okay, and it's important to just sit and understand that and sit with that so that you can get better. And once you sit in the shit, you get better. I think that's such a
absolutely. I mean, I'm all for productivity content. I'm all for bettering yourself. But if it feels forced, if you don't allow yourself to acknowledge the fact, if you don't forgive yourself for feeling a certain way, and if you're just forcing this fake outcome of just working hard, it's not authentic. And you don't learn and you don't grow that way because you're not dealing with it. It's kind of like grief. And they say grief comes in waves. Mm-hmm. There's no magic cure to get over grief. And chances are, if you've had stuff cancelled in 2020, you're probably dealing with some form of grief. You know, you've G'd yourself up for these plans, these
New
opportunities.
Decade, right?
New decade.
Like I remember in
New
2019,
decade,
I'm like, you know what, 2020 is going to be lit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes we have.
It's going to be so good.
It's so lit.
Yes.
The creative industry in the West is so good. You know, it's building into something, and then out of nowhere,
COVID-19.
Yeah, COVID-19. But you know, it's another lesson that like we can't rely on circumstances to make us happy. We can't rely on a new decade or certain opportunity.
True.
Like if you can't hold your own, then what?
Truth.
But then when shit hits the fan, like how are you gonna survive? How are you gonna cope?
Yeah.
So I had to really get real with myself and ask myself, okay, what do I want? I thought it was travel, but it's taken away. What can I do with what I have, with the gifts that I have? Because sure as hell don't want to go back to retail and customer service. I mean, not to say anything to anyone who really loves it, but it's just not me. It's not for me. The office life, the 9 to 5 is not for me, and it never will be.
Yep.
If that's your thing, that's awesome. You do you. But like that was my ultimate last resort. And I was like at the tipping point because obviously like what can you do?
Yeah.
But yeah.
You found something now.
Yes.
You pivoted.
I have.
And you're in a better place now.
Pivot. Oh.
That works as well.
Waka waka remix.
But yeah.
I pivoted, and it's so insane to think that, fast forward, that a pandemic would have to hit and all borders would have to close around the world for me to put myself in a position where I just had to get creative. And absolutely, I got creative because no one else was doing it for me. I had like my nagging parents at my back every day about how I'm going to make some money. So I sat in the shit, allowed myself to sit in the shit. And then I just focused on the next best thought, which is really important, that when you are feeling crappy, you can't force like a new business. You can't force like going to the gym. I mean, like you can put in steps, but the best thing for you to do is make it a priority to start feeling good again and start experimenting with what you like. So I really had to go back to the drawing board. Like, what do I like? What do I do? What's my mission? What do I want to create? And over time, I started making TikToks. I went accidentally viral on TikTok because I was just mucking around and allowing myself to play.
Hey, I want to pause a second because like at one point in your TikTok career, we'll call it a TikTok career. At one point, I noticed that your parents were getting more attention than you were. How did that feel? The people that were telling you that, how did that feel? That your videos with your parents were getting more views than you?
Right? My parents gained like 500,000 views on TikTok, and it's so funny.
We're now on the TikToks.
The TikTok. Honestly, my parents, they love gardening, and my stepdad is retired, so he's always gardening. They're turning pots and they're turning egg cartons into like concrete pots, and they're doing all these things and growing giant beans. Like it's amazing.
Cool.
And they're super enthusiastic, and I filmed them one day, and then they garnered like 100K views in like a few hours. And right now it's like 500,000 views.
Crazy.
The moment I shared with them about their TikTok stardom, they changed their minds. They go, my TikTok was like, "Anong TikTok? What's TikTok? Why am I viral? What's viral? How many people?" Oh, reconnecting.
No, reconnecting that, but continue on.
Yeah, how many people saw me? 20 minutes later, goes to call all of the relatives. Starts bragging about how he's famous on the internet and why they should follow me on TikTok. So, just goes to show. Maybe all along my parents were just jealous.
I love it.
Likely not, but yeah, it's a fun piece of it was a fun realization for them that they can actually do something. Now they want to start their own like video series on gardening. It's not going to happen unless I help them. They don't know, but I think they could really hit it off.
Yeah,
I love it.
And we're going to wait for Nats, or we?
I'll just keep going. I'll get Nats.
Yeah, so you started doing stuff on TikTok, just doing it for fun, just for shits and giggles, and then from there, what happened after the TikToks? Is that when you got your revelation, when you were making the TikToks, or was it?
I realized. I mean, it was a good realization that the content comes naturally, and what I just want to do is share my light, share fun times, especially in a time when everybody was in uncertainty. It was a really, really scary time for people a couple of months ago, and the content, you could see that. On one hand, you didn't want to be tone deaf and like ignore the fact that there's a pandemic, and it's not relevant to be posting travel photos or perfect life IG photos around. So I was just making lighthearted content that steered away from just the super, super negative stuff that was circulating the internet. So yeah, I realized that I had a purpose to just share lighthearted stuff and not take life too seriously. Excuse me. Yeah.
So the suspense is killing me. I think the audience they're feeling the suspense. What's this new venture? What's this new venture that you have found?
Okay, so fast forward a couple months. I realized I have a light, I want to share it. And I've sort of been doing this anyway with my workshops, but why not take it online? When people have so much time now, so much access to the internet and information, yet so many people are overloaded. I think I realize right now is such an important time for people to be getting on to content, because people now more than ever need art. People need to feel good, people need to be surrounding themselves with like-minded people, with people to share their light. Like it's so important that everybody has a form of a brand or a personal brand, especially if you're a creative.
Yeah.
You need to have a brand presence, and you can't be scared to share yourself. So
Ooh, I should get a drum roll on my next sound effect.
So I launched a 3-month program called Impact and Influence.
Hey. Impact and influence.
Yeah.
Nice.
I designed a 3-month coaching program for creatives, creative entrepreneurs to build out their brand presence, to build their messaging online and grow their audience, but not just grow their audience for numbers, grow their audience to have an impact and make an impact and use their voice to spread a message that they are passionate
We did
about.
talk about this last time when you were here on
bit.
the 100th episode, as well as the previous episode before that. So you are really familiar with how to gain a natural, organic audience that'll be there for you because you are authentic and you are transparent and you are you. So you are sharing that wisdom out to other creatives. So like everyone out there who are probably struggling in this boat of COVID really needs this kind of push to lift themselves up.
Yeah, and it's so insane that it took this to come about, because it was already on the direction. But throughout this season of seeing so many people facing anxiety, facing like lack of self-belief because all of their plans had crumbled, I realized how important mindset is, how important, especially if you're a creative and you don't have the support or stability, it's so important to have your own backing. And so initially, honestly, this was just it started off as a social media course, a type of training for me to mentor people on how to, how to build an audience, how to grow their brand so that they can create income off the internet when things fall to shits. But I realized the more that I started speaking to people and really listening to my audience and what people need right now, people need art, they need inspiration, they need a stronger drive, and most importantly, they need a sense of self-belief and confidence despite circumstances, despite a pandemic hitting. So
I like that a lot.
it shifted from just being a course about social media and how to grow your numbers and how to build an audience to a course and a mentorship program that guides you to master the art of shameless self-expression.
And what do you mean by shameless?
Shameless self-expression means mastering the art of how you show up in life, how you express yourself regardless of what you think. And the shameless part is so important. The shameless part is a really big facet of my brand because people no longer want cookie cutter content. We don't want to just be, there's so much of that. There's so much saturation of people trying to be perfect. Shamelessness means to me being authentic in who you are, not being afraid to share your voice, be vulnerable, talk about the things that matter, the shit that matters.
Yes.
Not being afraid to be vulnerable and sharing, sharing the shit and sitting the shit.
I just want to say, and we've said this on the show before, just how inspirational you are and how much energy that you exude when you speak. And every time we hang out, I feel so inspired.
I paid them to say that. Use my discount code.
If you want a compliment, just put discount code cheat coders and your compliment will be coming your way.
Get a free one-on-one session with me when you put in the code.
Exactly.
Cheat code is
Hey,
20.
hey, Leanne, Hey, Leanne, quick one. Sorry, I feel like I just joined the convo now, but I've been like lagging like a motherfucker. But I'm back, and there was so many things I wanted to say, so many things, and like I just wanted to like just commemorate your journey. You're one of the first people I thought of when this whole pandemic thing happened. Yeah, when shit hit the fan. none of us knew the implications, right? Because like even for me before, I was like, oh yeah, it might just be like, oh, pause a few trips, but we didn't realize how it would affect the economy. We only just saw like at the glimpse of it. I was still in Sydney, and my only problem was like, oh, I need to get back to London. And then when I got here, it's like, yeah, it'll blow over. All right, so things are starting to go to shit. But now, like the long term thing, it's like, oh fuck, this is actually like I don't think any of us could grasp the economic
Impact.
shit that went down with travel in particular, like travel, hospitality. But when I was thinking about like your situation, because I know your niche is travel, that's your thing, I didn't really have any doubts that you were just gonna like lay down and die, because I just feel like you have that. Like hear me out. I'm not trying to kiss your ass or anything, but this goes for all of us. This is like Raf, Don, and especially Leanne, and I think it's very inspirational to have you here, because it's a proven fact. Like with what you do, like we can define ourselves for what we do with these things, but being in creative, I think we're conditioned and naturally we have to adapt, because unstable is what we are, no matter what. We are built for instability. So when a pandemic happened, I was like, she's gonna find something. Like, I know she can't travel now, she's gonna do something. And like you said, like people shifted, man. Like with our podcast, we went virtual. Raf was like, oh fuck, I got no video gigs, and then he starts doing something with Zoom or some shit, because that was the next thing that came up. And I think it's really important. I think like what you're promoting with your with the social media skills, I reckon it'd be great, because a lot of people that aren't creatives, the funny thing, like you lose an entire market, but then the pandemic, how it's affected some people is now they've got more time. And I've got friends that are like, hey, like giving it a go, like they're starting to try things that they never thought they would, because they never had the time. But what better way to learn, like from people that have been doing it? So a lot of people that I've met here, that they were all about travel. They're like, hey, I want to start a podcast. I want to start cooking and whatnot. So I think it's a really it's really good, man. It's really dope that you're doing the new venture, bro. I just want to say that, man. I was like, it was just I was like, and like I'm like, fuck, my Skype's dying. I lost half the vocals. Rap, I don't have vocals from the beginning. It's all gone. Sorry.
Okay, thanks for telling me that. Don't worry.
But I mean, like, just on top of that, Nats, like, right now, this is such a huge opportunity for the world to see how much social media has an impact. We've just, come off the back of Black Lives Matter, massive movements, COVID. People are cooped up in their homes and they need a way to self-express, or they need to lean on creators and people that inspire them to, develop their voice. And, unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the capacity to do their own research. They want things handed to them, and it sucks in a way, because it makes people lazy, but also it's a huge opportunity for people to really step up and share the voice, because
so much
watch time is up by like 400%. I'm making that up, but watch time is higher than ever. People are leaning on art. They're leaning on artists. They're leaning on creatives. The problem is creatives aren't necessarily equipped with the biggest skill set of business and self-belief and follow through. They create ideas. That's why it's a huge part of my mission to educate creatives, because you got it, girl, you got it. The self-belief, the mindset aspect of running your own business is a huge part of everything.
100%.
It starts with the mindset, and
it is
exactly
mindset.
what you were saying, that like regardless of circumstance, regardless of whatever happens, the change comes from within.
Yeah.
It needs to come from your mindset.
Yeah, and that was my shift when I was creating this. Again, like, I thought people just wanted to know how to show up on social media. Yeah, sure, that's what they want. But what they actually need is something that marries the skills and the how-to and the strategy with practices that gets them shameless. Because if you are creative but you don't believe in your power to execute, if you're a creative and you have the ideas but you are too scared to actually publish, now what's the freaking point? I'm saying.
I'm saying
That's hard.
That's why this work, I will shout it from the rooftops, because I would have never have found this if I hadn't first believed in myself. Like, it's so crazy that I have not come to where I am today because of my skill sets in travel, social media, photographer. I have always been, to be honest, subpar in my skill sets. When I was doing makeup and effects, I was never the most technical person, never the most artistic person. I don't have a really good background in videography, yet I've been able to do what I have and be paid by brands to do amazing things because I have a confidence within myself to enroll these brands.
shamelessly.
I've been able to build an audience, and it's not like a massive audience, but it's an audience that trust me, that
It's pretty big.
believe in my vision.
I mean, like, compared to us, it is quite big.
Yeah, well, thing is, regardless of like these accolades or whatever I've done, it only this success has only been possible because I was able to first believe in myself.
100.
Hashtag boom. Wow.
And I think, that's something that is so obvious in you. And I'm going to bring it back to that shameless confidence.
Yeah.
And a lot of your content, like, you always put up this, like, you always put up really authentic, down-to-earth content. And I think that's really important. And you being confident with who you are, regardless of what you look like, helps to draw people towards you and helps you build that audience. And I think like it also helps other people feel inspired to do the same thing. Like, be confident in yourself, regardless of who.
And that's the thing. This is the golden nugget that I have honestly. I knew it, but I'm discovering it more and more every day. That content is not about yourself.
Nah, yeah, 100%.
The moment you make it about me, this is my life, this is me looking cute in a bikini, which is not bad, by the way.
Not bad at all.
If the moment you make it about
Yeah.
you or my progress, me, do this for my likes, people don't buy it.
Puts you off,
People
man.
do not. It's not authentic. You can put the same piece of content, but if the intention behind it, if the message and the overall outcome behind it is different, then the experience will be different. For example, like what I like to tell my clients is that the first thing when they are thinking of building a brand, yeah, sure, you want to make it about the things that you enjoy, the things that light you up. But also think about what is the experience you want to create for your audience. So when I'm putting funny content out there, when I'm just being goofy, authentic, whatever, sure, that's a facet of me, but that's actually really intentional.
Yep.
Because I come on every day on Instagram, and yes, I make funny content, but that's not just for shits and giggles. That's so that people want to make fun of my immigrant parents. Sure, that's like lighthearted and it's funny, but the message behind that, the intention behind that is that I want people who are creatives, who are growing up in the same situation, who have family that don't support their dreams. I want them to feel seen and I want them to feel heard.
Yeah.
The platform, the platform I'm using is Instagram.
Boom.
And I'm using like comedy, I don't know if I'm really funny, but
It's your vehicle.
yeah, that's my vehicle.
Yeah.
And I'm so intentional about the message and how I want to make people feel. That's why so many people, when they go on Instagram, they look through these perfect feeds. Oh, this person's just like, they're killing it. That's awesome. Good for them. If it's just about bragging,
it's
for the sake of bragging, it doesn't last. And I don't mind you sharing your wins, because I love to share my wins. I love to brag. I love to brag because I want that to be available for other people to see that. But I brag, if you want to call it bragging, I love to share these wins because I want people to see an opportunity for themselves to have those same breakthroughs.
Yeah.
Subtext is everything. Like you can say something, but the meaning behind of why you're saying it, that always shows through.
Yeah.
Like if you want to brag, you can brag. It's if your intention is to inspire other people's, like, I'm going to share my wins so people get inspired by it and they can do what they want with it.
Yeah.
Or you could people will notice that. But if you share your wins, just share your wins.
Yeah, no,
people will notice that as well. So
if you're doing it in a way that you don't actually believe in those wins and you're doing it to fish for compliments, I think that's where, If you're doing it in a place of insecurity, I think people can see the inauthenticity. However, if you do it in a place of wanting to serve, and that's really what social media is. When you're creating, you're doing it to serve. It's not, yes, it's for you. It's for you to fulfill, your creative juices. But it's really to share and to serve and to help. And that's what humanity is about, right?
Exactly.
I love it. Like I've noticed that some of your clients are reintroducing themselves.
I saw a few already.
Oh wait, come on, I pressed it.
Which is awesome because I've got. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry, Leanne. It's the lag, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's the lag.
I'm just saying it's so amazing to see, and like, again, if I had. It's important that I sat in my shit, but if I allowed myself to, for this season to get the better of me and to go back to retail work, I would not have made the breakthroughs with the people that I have just yet. And it's what I'm really learning here is that, one, it's so much more content. It's so much more than just about you. But secondly, I'm learning that by me getting out of my shit, by me doing the inner work, by me getting confident in who I am, I now make it available for Dana living in Las Vegas to be sitting her vulnerable self in front of the computer screen, in front of the Zoom screen to share and find who she really is. Yeah. I make it available for Vanessa, who's all the way in Canada, to find her light and create her brand called The Untamed Poet. Like, she never thought that was possible. But if do you see that's like, it's a web, right? Like, if I am sitting in a place of insecurity and not feeling like I can make a difference, then I have directly affected the life of someone across the world who is a part of my program now that can benefit. All of the girls, all the beautiful girls, women and Raf who we're now working with as well. Like,
nice.
If I was not able to do that work to believe I was confident, I could not make that available to every single person that experiences my light.
That's it, man.
So
I want to do a quick study with us because I want us to reintroduce ourselves individually.
Let's do it.
Let's have like a little quick exercise.
Shameless
practice. Some shameless promotion. Yeah. And we always start with Don.
Start with me.
I'll start. All right. So, what
do you want prompts?
Give me some prompts.
Hey, Leanne, are you gonna give us like feedback and rate us? I guess grade us like a teacher,
or rather guidance is I think is what
I'll give you a collective. I don't know. Maybe let's see.
All right, so give me some prompts. Give me some ideas.
Also, the thing is, it doesn't have to be right. Like, you showing up as you are, that doesn't have to be a method. I'm gonna give you some prompts to give you like some pointing things to talk about. But if the point of this is to say what feels good to you. Okay, so tell me about who you are, what you love to do, what's your mission when you create.
Okay.
And what is the experience that you want to create for other people being exposed to your content? So people who are listening to the cheat coders, like, how do you want them to feel? What do you want them to get out of it?
Let me get in my
and you boys zone. Think for yourselves.
Let's get a rap. Let's get it.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Perfect.
He planned this, bro. He planned this.
Yeah, he planned it. For sure.
Time machine.
My name is Raf Flores. I am a podcaster, a videographer. I aim to entertain, provide wisdoms in the creative industry, in the field that I see as a passion of mine. I would like to express myself to the world out there, whether you be in Sydney, Australia, whether you be in America, around the globe. I want you to feel that my passion for my work, whether it be videography or this podcast, is truly authentic, is truly me, and is an expression of how I view the world, how I view my life, how I view myself as a contributor of this thing called life, because we want to contribute something that will go down not in history but to the future. I want to be able to leave a mark on the world. I want to be able to show that mark to everyone that walks past and be like, this guy was passionate about what he did. This guy was so passionate that he has left a part of him even when he's not even here.
Love that.
So
Preach. That's
he's
hard.
left this passion to inspire other people to do the same, because there's enough marks in this world to be made for everyone to do something about it, to become their own person, to become another person that has made a change, whether it be someone else's life, whether it be in themselves, or whether it be how they changed how the world spins. And I do this deep message in the art of videography, whether it be for someone's visual brand or their message, because everyone's got a message that they want to send. I just want to be the mailman that sends it the right way. You know what I mean? So I am here to spread your message out there, because by spreading your message, you're helping me push my passion and leaving my mark in the world.
Wow, mic drop.
Damn.
Hey.
How do you feel
Whoa, man.
when you speak that?
I had a little, what do you call it? When your body just out of body experience.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was just expressing how I felt.
Right?
I wasn't thinking too much.
Natural.
It was all just honed in, focused in, and I was just at my own pace, the way that I wanted, and just expressing how I felt. That's
Right.
it. You know?
If more people could express themselves fully, wholly, openly, without judgment like that, then the world would be a better place, honestly. If you could, like that was amazing, and that was maybe 45 seconds of your day. Imagine expanding that feeling and living your whole entire day like that. Living in expression, not caring about, what your auntie's going to say, what people across the world are going to say, trolls on the internet,
100%.
judgment. Like that's the goal, and that's awesome. And I loved hearing that from you, because you can tell it lights you up.
For sure. Cheat code is for life.
CC,
And
CC,
videography.
baby.
CC, baby. we're gonna be so CC is gonna be so good that the chip brand will be non-existent. All right, Don, doing
man.
stuff.
This is powerful stuff. Holy wow.
Would you like to reintroduce yourself to the world?
Oh,
Let me
man.
know when you're ready, and I'll put in the cue, and then you start. Okay?
I gotta
Just feel
hype
it.
myself up.
What are you wearing?
crazy.
Muhammad Ali on your shirt? You're ready for greatness, bro.
That's
I like
it.
that. All right, I'm gonna try this.
Have you done this before?
No, I've never.
Cool. So anybody listening, I want you to listen for yourselves. What lights a fire in your belly? What is one thing that has changed your life, and why is it so important that you share that with other people too? Why are you passionate about it?
Oh,
You're ready.
I think so. I'm gonna
All
try.
right.
I'm gonna try my best.
That means you are ready. All right, ready? 3, 2, and
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
My name is Don Angelo Valix. I am a singer, musician. I am also a martial artist. I am also a podcaster now. I think my passion is to create. My passion is to tell a story, but also it is to help other people or guide other people to express their passions or further what they want to do in life. So I think a part of me has always wanted to help guide people in whatever shape, way, or form that may be. It's why I want to become an instructor in martial arts, because if I can't directly protect the people that I care about, I can teach them how to protect themselves. If I can't, if I can't manage someone their like musical career, I can at least help them to find tools in order to do that themselves. It is building a way for people to better themselves and inspire them to just make themselves better. And the experience that I want, I guess my audience or the people that I want to put out there, the experience is one that, you know, something that is relatable, that you are able to do this because it's possible. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. And yeah, I want to shine my light out there so that it gives permission for other people to shine theirs. Yeah.
Wow. Love it. How do you feel saying that, sitting into that space?
It's wow.
Have you ever said that?
I said that once before. Story for another time, but yeah, I've said that once before, but yeah,
Not in this type of environment.
Yeah, it's such an emotional thing to
Yeah,
say.
I could see you. I could really see you shaken up.
Didn't
in a good
realize,
way.
Yeah.
And you know, I want to make it. Yes, you got it. I want to make a clear distinction about even just observing you, and for those listening in, you know, Don was getting emotional. He was getting really. You could see that his physical presence was changing because he was just in this state of expressing who he wants to be. And so often we are caught up in the how. We're caught up, okay, my mission in life is to be a banker, to be a YouTuber, to be a whatever we want to be a rapper, sure. To be a traveler, at one point to be a makeup artist. And I got so caught up in the identity of that person that I missed the mark on what my actual mission was. So, you know what? What's so interesting is that through this whole season of this pandemic, sure, like, yes, my plans came crumbling down and all my plans were stripped away. But what it left for was me to go back to the drawing board and actually look at my mission. And my mission is to empower 1 million creatives to shamelessly pursue what they love.
Boom.
Within that,
That's hard.
does not say travel. Within that doesn't say makeup. Within that doesn't say a specific field. It doesn't say how. Just like with you, you didn't actually say, you know, you wanted to do X, Y, Z. All you knew was your mission. And so that's the key. If we stop getting caught up in the how and the strategy and forcing things to work, then maybe when a pandemic hits, maybe when circumstances fail us, maybe we have enough inside to actually know, hey, this is just the experience of life I want to have. Why not chase that? Why not let that be your measurement of success rather than, you know, making this whole 5-year plan on exactly how I'm going to get rich or, you know, what really matters to you. And in that alone, I could see like that matters to you. Hashtag boom.
I'm just making some bombs so I could evaporate those tears, you know.
I have very rarely gotten emotional on this podcast. And that I can.
It only took 124 episodes, bro. Mission is complete.
Good on
this is
you,
the last
Don.
episode of the Chico's podcast.
Honestly, this is what we're here for. We all feel all kinds of emotions.
All right, that's blazing
But-
all the way in London.
Yeah.
town.
Just really quickly, because I really want to acknowledge like what, you know, this breakthrough that you just had. Like what do you hear in this for yourself, having done this and realizing this?
I feel like that gives more direction regardless of what happens in life. Like that gives it's like a compass, if I'm gonna be philosophical about it, right? Doesn't matter where you are or what's around you. If you follow that compass, you're always gonna find north.
Right? And that
it.
is the key. That is why it's so important to do the inner work, to actually be the kind of person you like and confident with who you are. Because no matter the attachment, no matter the job or the outcome or the circumstance, if you can hold true to what you really want out of life, like imagine how powerful you will be.
Strength.
Boom.
Stronger than just physical strength.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Put some onions.
It's just
Alright.
it's dust allergies right
We
now.
have someone
Love
all the way
it.
in London town.
Let's go, Nats. Nats, what are you hearing in this for yourself?
Before I start, can I just say, like, oh my God, I think I'm going to cry. Like, I feel like crying right now. I'm not even lying. Like, fuck, I'm so nervous and shit. Like, fuck, I don't know what to say, man. Like, Raph went in. He's so eloquent when he talks. He knows what he's there for. Don, though, on the other hand, so candid, so vulnerable. I almost cried for you instead. And then, this is too fucking much. And I'm telling you now, like my ADHD is playing up. I'm thinking like, oh, I should say this to be different. I should say this. And I'm just like, no, fuck, just don't fucking overthink it. And I want to give a quick shout out as well to Vienna, because she was on Instagram. I was in the toilet earlier and I was just scrolling on my feed, and then no joke. I had a feeling we were going to talk about this. Like, I didn't actually know, but she did her story and it got me thinking, like, this is something I want to do, and I'm so happy we're talking about it now. And obviously she's one of your clients, Leanne, or like a friend, or
Yes, shout outs Vienna. She's
shout out to
a
Vienna.
powerhouse woman, and she's making some insane moves. Honestly, super proud of the woman that you are and the woman that you're becoming, and she's learning to love herself, and I'm so keen for her journey.
Hells yeah.
And I'm glad, like, look, even her, while you're in the toilet, little does she know, she's inspiring you all the way from London.
See that, Vienna?
Yeah,
This is
even
a
on the
web of
toilet.
influence.
It is. It's
Toilet
so true.
inspirations.
Look, I'm gonna pretend you guys aren't here because I'm actually genuinely like kind of nervous, and I already get really nervous about this shit, and I might actually cry, but who cares? Actually, no, I don't want to see me cry. But anyways,
You do it.
hey yo, ref, reintroduce me.
All right. 3, 2.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
My name is Nathan. That's me. Okay, no more humor. Humor is a coping mechanism. I'm just gonna be real. My name is Nathan Dela Cruz, and I am just gonna be completely honest. I don't have it all together. 2017, I fell into a really deep depression, and when I look at that time, what I considered probably the worst year of my life, like I thought I had it figured out. Like, you know, you got the job, you got the fucking, you know, you got the house, you got all these things that you tick off, and you feel this emptiness. And I never quite knew what that emptiness was. I think I subconsciously knew, but when I look back at my younger days, I always thought my happiest times was when I was making music, or just being so engulfed in something that I love to do. And I think that part of me died. And it's a cliche story. We all go through it. The corporate 9 to 5 that sucks the life out of you. But when I look back at 2017, that was the year that really just knocked me down. Like, everything fell apart that I thought was like what I wanted. And it's a bittersweet moment because I also now refer to that year of my life was, while it was the worst, it was also the best thing that probably happened to me. Because now looking at it, how many years is it now? 3 years ahead of time. I feel like I've lived or found myself more and lived more than I have in the previous, 5-6 years that I was doing whatever I was doing. And I don't have a message. Like, I think the main thing that I've been trying to promote, trying to preach or whatever, and anything that I try to do, is being okay with not having it figured out. We never have it figured out. And I came to London to 2018. I didn't have a reason. Don, one of my good friends, when I shared him the idea, he was just like, just fucking do it. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go then. And I came here. I didn't want to, all I knew is I didn't want to be where I was prior to 2017. And from there, I didn't bother getting a proper job. I've been temping. I travel. I didn't even like travel before, to be honest. I hardly traveled, and I found a love for it. But the main thing that I think the biggest thing that helped me, and the journey I want to share, and I'm the most passionate about, because now when I really think about it, aside from all this content and all this stuff that I do, 2017 for me was the biggest wake-up call, because that's when I started to really prioritize myself and put my mental health first. So when I was diagnosed with severe depression, list goes on, that sort of got me on the road. I moved to London, found myself, I'm still trying to find myself and all that shit. And I think it's been a journey. And then I think just recently this year, just revisiting that, relapsing, getting back in that same toxic mind frame, going to a proper psychiatrist and just really prioritize myself financially, putting all my energy into my mental health first and getting a proper diagnosis. So I was properly diagnosed with ADHD, mixed type, which means I'm either hyperactive or I'm inattentive and zone out. It sort of answered a lot of things, what was giving me so many issues and problems growing up. At times when I thought I was really good, I probably wasn't. I was probably really shit. And sort of taking control of that part of my life is what inspires me to sort of, talk more openly about it. And I do want to make most of my future content more related to that journey that I've had, realizing more about myself, learning more about myself, and realizing why I do the things that I do. And I want to inspire people. There's a lot of people that I know, mental health is there's a bit of a stigma around it, and people, only now it's getting kind of popular, but it's a real thing. And I think it's very underrated. It's just like your physical health. You need to take care of it. And, it's okay to not be okay. And you have to use that. I had more to say, but I can't remember. Yo, guys. Wait.
You got more? Keep going. Keep going. Now.
And so the main thing I want to preach is don't get complacent, don't get comfortable. I haven't been comfortable for 3 years, and it's the best thing that could happen. I like to try to see the positives in any negative situation now. Something happens, pretty much what Leanne said, we can't control the things externally. We can only control what's within. And I think that's the biggest message I want to push, because it's been a ride, and I'm loving every minute of it. So booyah, bro, I want to rap again and all that shit.
That's how do you feel saying that to your audience?
Pretty good. It's very liberating. I'm probably gonna do it again. Bit more scripted, but yeah, it feels really good. I think the whole candid thing, just don't say this for this, just say your piece type thing is it's liberating.
Okay. Hold up. Can we just acknowledge you right now? That was huge.
It was massive,
That was awesome, man.
How many episodes have you guys done? 120?
24.
124.
Do you guys feel that have you ever shared this openly, this vulnerably in your missions on this podcast?
Not 3 times.
Not 3 times in a row.
Not back to back.
We give little glimpses. We give little cracks, and then we make a joke about it because it's a coping mechanism. But
Well, exactly, and that's the thing. We all do it, but I want you to be really clear that you've just shined a light on something that it took 124 episodes to do, but you have now made it available for anyone who is dealing with ADHD, who is dealing with severe depression and is feeling lost and unable to cope in their lives. You have now made it available for them to see possibility within themselves because they look at you. And because you are able to share this candidly, openly, vulnerably.
I'm still I don't know, my mind I'm shaking and shit.
You now make them heard. These people who, whether they're driving, they're on the toilet, whatever, they are heard because you have shared. That is huge. I want you all to acknowledge what you've created for yourselves, and for the people who, some people you don't even know, people across the world.
100%.
This is the power of why it's important to share and have shameless self-expression.
100%, man.
That was a really deep 15 minutes.
Thanks. That's good. That was.
This is the deepest we've gone.
We take it 100. It's either the funniest, cheesiest, karaokeist, or it's the deepest episodes.
Man,
Good grief.
I was gonna cry for you.
Thanks, bro.
Goodness
I
gracious.
was,
Yeah, man.
I was gonna be like, man, you do you, bro.
What
Like,
an inspiring, incredible journey.
Thanks, bro.
Honestly,
Thanks, guys.
so often we just we want to hide that shit because it's not normal. It's not every day. Like we hide in judgment of what people are going to think, but in fact, if you really think about the people that need you right now, like it then changes things. It then becomes, oh, this is a burden to this is my mission.
100.
Going back to your question about like whether we've shared these kinds of things on this podcast before, I know for Nats, it's something that he's been mental health is something that he's been talking about a lot more often. But yeah, having that idea, putting that lens of shameless self-expression onto that
100%.
makes that message so much bigger.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're trying to figure it out and you're just trying to express yourself and just figure out, just express what you're what you're figuring out. That idea that having that shameless self-expression will inspire somebody out there. The other person will feel heard because you said that.
And I want
It's
to
massive.
add to this because that's a great point. Every time you hold yourself back from shining your light to the world, you rob other people of the opportunity to experience that and have that same breakthrough.
Truth bombs.
And then we can even like connect it to our previous like conversation from our last episode, like the whole concept of manifestation, the whole concept of speaking out what we want to happen and actually making it out there, like verbally taking that from your brain to out in the open and then having it to manifest into something great in the future. Like it's happened to Leanne. It's happened to many of us. Like every time we talk about something that we want to do and we make those steps to get there, it happens. And then what we did now, we gave a greater future for ourselves by causing this manifestation, this verbal diarrhea at times. But like this conversation has really just created a better future for us. I feel, because now it's out there in the open. Now we're really thinking about what we really need to focus our energy on mainly.
Oh yeah.
And our message and all that stuff. All right, Donnie, round 2.
Nats, you're feeling pensive.
We're going for another round?
You're right
I feel
there,
like
Nats.
we're just passing like this emotional joint.
Emotional joint.
Guys, share your dreams.
Well,
This is amazing.
Layers, man. Layers.
This is amazing.
Nats, you're feeling pensive. I can feel your energy over
Pensive.
there. What are you thinking? What
No,
are
I'm
you getting
like,
out of this?
Well, it just this could
Deep in
have
thought.
came at a better time because it's been something I've been obviously looking at thinking about doing, because I've had, if you notice my Instagram, I haven't posted anything for a long time, and it's not even stuff that's even like relevant. I just like there was a point you brought up which really hit me earlier in the conversation, and my Skype wasn't working, but the whole, because when the pandemic happened and then sort of just like, fuck, I don't know what to do. And I felt that way with a lot of things, but particularly my content and stuff. I felt I was slowly getting to the point of just doing content for the sake of doing it. You're chasing the likes, You're chasing like, oh, I'm going to do this because this is what's now. And I think the start of the pandemic with the lockdown, everyone was like, all right, now's the time. We got the time to do this. No excuses. You set that sort of, you set these goals that might be unrealistic, and it just gets you down more when you don't accomplish them. So I fell into this thing like, shit, now I have the time and I'm not even using it. And I was like, thinking of doing this and that. Nothing really came because I didn't really feel it. I wasn't passionate about it. I didn't.
Exactly.
So I just took a break.
Yeah,
I paused.
you're doing it for the sake of doing it.
So I just paused.
No.
Well, that was it. I just stopped and I had to reevaluate, and that's actually like a blessing in disguise. With the pandemic happened, it actually gave me time to properly, save up a bit of money and just go private and go to a proper psychiatrist. I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have the time that I did, like with all this. And I realized like that's what I needed then and there the most, rather than, what I'm doing or content. Like it's all right to take a break. You have to prioritize like you.
Absolutely.
Always, number one. And now that I'm sort of feeling like I'm getting there at a better place, I'm more involved with the guys at the cheat coders, because I'm a bit of a wild card. Like some days I just won't show up or I'll disappear for a month. But lately it's been really good, and I think this episode couldn't have come at a better time. So thank you.
Great. No worries.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Leanne.
This is my mission. This is why I'm so lit the fuck up every time I wake up, because I'm truly operating from my purpose, and I wouldn't have found this if I hadn't allowed myself to experiment. Just like you, Nats, like you've allowed yourself to have the time to sit in whatever you need to, and who knows, now your mess, what if your mess could be your message?
Oh damn! You can't have a message without a mess. Oh bars.
She ain't a rapper though, but she got bars.
Bars. Leanne Melody causing a felony.
I love it. Keep going.
That's hard.
What if your measurement of success wasn't to post like 50 million posts just for the sake of it? If it's not about what you are doing, it's about who you are being in the process. So if you post 50 million photos and there's just no intention behind it, it's just for the sake of doing it because you have to, it's not going to reach anyone.
100.
The same way as if you just allowed yourself to play, allowed yourself to do what felt good, felt fun, and rid that inner critic. What if you could just operate life without that inner critic? I know that's way easier said than done, but what if your measurement of success for the day was how good you felt doing what you loved, experimenting with different things? Like, wouldn't you feel more creative? Wouldn't you feel more inspired? Wouldn't you make more money living life that way because you are taking aligned action?
Truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's it.
I am engulfed in this conversation.
Man, you guys weren't lying. Hanging out with Leanne, really like, fuck, I just want to run a marathon or some shit.
Told you, bro.
Guys, I make people money by being around me because
I love that.
everything is mindset, right? Like, by you having the breakthroughs that you do, it's going to fulfill your life in so many ways. Nats, tell me, how is by being more of who you are, shamelessly who you are, how do you think that will make you more financially abundant?
Oh, financially, huh? Oh, damn, son.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even, and that's another thing with creatives. Like, people don't believe that creatives don't actually believe. Lots of creatives don't believe that they can have financial freedom or they can feel secure because it has to be one or the other.
Yeah, I
But like, how is this going to affect your life in other ways than just you having more fun? Like, how will this make you more financially
I think as an
free?
example, I think I've been subconsciously doing this already before, but like putting more of a lens onto it as well. In terms of like my choices now with everything, it's usually not the popular choice, like not just following the crowd or doing what's in the trend or anything. It's more so I just want to do what I want to do, and I've been living by that. My goal in the end is to just work for myself, like take the same route as yourself and as Raf, but even down to my choices of what kind of work. I haven't had a full-time job since I left. I've just been temping, so doing jobs that require no brain power. And I dedicate like the 2 extra days I have purely just to find myself, to find what I like, to get in touch with things I used to like, to do this. And while there's no monetary value right now for a lot of these things, me building towards that, I just feel like it's uncapped. It's not like getting a job. You know what you know your limit is. And if you take like how I see it, I was in the insurance industry 10 years. I know I'm not going to get higher up than what I was before, which was pretty decent, but I was miserable. But me seeing like doing this, like just like these are my two best case scenarios. And these are the only scenarios I'll ever go to. I'll never go back to a full-time 9 to 5. I will never go back to things that like the two best case scenarios for me is right now, what I'm living now. Whereas I can make enough to live. It doesn't cost much to live. That's another thing, like minimalism, like it doesn't cost much to actually live. You can be very minimal. You can just cut out a few things that we deem like few luxuries here and there, and spend as much time as I can doing what I like to do. I can say this is work for me, work. I know it's not money, but I deem this, and I want to deem this what I do with the cheat coders and my side stuff. Absolutely. I want to treat it. I want to give it that importance, that it's more important than my 3 days where I would do some other shit that I don't really care about, but it's to live. That's one case scenario. And base case scenario is I'm doing something like this, or if I find my own thing, if I launch my YouTube thing, and if I can live off that, that's it. And that I see that as the best case scenarios. It's not even really about the money. It's the time spent. And because I'm so invested in my mental health, no monetary value is gonna change that. I'm not gonna fucking go to like back to a corporate job and just put myself in that position, because I'm not gonna make money. If I'm gonna burn out and just if I get done from that, I'm done. Like that's it. This is like the only way, and I'm happy doing this. You know, part time, get by, or live doing what I do. So,
yeah. How I guess to rephrase that, how do you think that being truly who you are, being more of yourself, and being shamelessly confident, how do you think that can benefit other areas other than
shamelessly?
Other than you just feeling good. How, like, do you believe that there's a possibility that you can have it all? You can, work, do this, and make a lot of money actually, doing what you love. Not money for the sake of money, but money to be free.
Yeah,
to have options.
Yeah.
To live.
Well, the thing is,
how do you think will definitely? How do you think having more confidence in who you are will affect your income, your relationship with, your partner, your friends? How do you think it will affect your life?
Well, pretty much, like, it doesn't have to be publicized. Like, I don't share a lot of this stuff out, but even now, like in these early days, a lot of the decisions made are cause of, just being vulnerable. Like, I know when to say I can't do this, like this certain thing, I can't go to these parties. I say no a lot. Like I feel empowered saying no. Nah, I don't want to party. I don't want to drink. I didn't drink for 6 months, and people thought it was weird, but I really stood by it. I was like, no, I'm going through something right now. I can't drink for 6 months. That kind of shit. And that influenced me a lot. And I know there's baby steps, but I can only see the potential in that if I start implementing that with other things I want to do. So if I want to start sharing more of this stuff on YouTube or with the podcast, and even with music, I did want to do music earlier on when I started. I've been saying that for like 5 years now, probably 10 years. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get back into music. I'm 35 now. What the fuck? But anyway, my mindset has changed, and how that's happened is, if I was to make music, it's not really like I don't really care. Well, I do care a bit. Like if people like, I'm not there to just me. I want the views. I want this. Like if I want to make music. It's like my therapy, like back to the basics, why I loved it in the first place. And that usually was my outlet. That's where I was the most open back in the day with music. Talking didn't come naturally. That only happened when me and Raf started this podcast. And I think it can only be better than that. It's influenced all my choices so far with where I am here. So yeah, I think I'm going in a circle, but you know what I mean?
Chico's
yeah,
for life,
bro. We'll just talk till we're
Cheat coders for
80.
life.
Podcast episode 9,000 when we're 80 years old.
Over 9,000.
Love it.
All right. So I think we can slowly wrap this up because I think if we continue going this,
let's end on a high, guys.
First of all, yeah.
emotionally drained.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leanne, for like taking us through that exercise of shameless self-expression, because
Yeah, it was an experience.
that was massive.
What did you get out of that for yourself, Raf?
I got out of that like focused mission. Like I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
Is like all my energy should be focused on what I just said.
Yes.
And the reasons why. Because like you
Yes.
can always think about it constantly, like, oh, I want to do this. But when you say it out loud, it kind of gives it a more focused vision.
Yeah. Reality is created in language. When we say it, when we speak it into existence, it exists. Whether or not we follow through on it, but it exists. There's a possibility there now for you. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Anya, what about you, Don?
Clarity. I think clarity is like you kind of get this sense of, I'll speak for myself, like I kind of get this sense of what it is that my purpose is, or what it is that I want to achieve in life. But then saying it out loud brings so much more clarity to that purpose.
Good.
So much more clarity to it.
Good.
What did you get out of this, Leanne?
Yeah.
This whole conversation that we just had.
With her.
Yeah. Just without ignoring all the sound effects that were going on.
Honestly, I'm just having a good time. Like this, you can feel, right? You can feel how important this is to me when I speak. I come,
100%.
my intention, every interaction I have is intentional, and it's with, and because I was able to become confident in who I am, I can now be intentional about the presence that I give. I can walk into this and say, hey, I'm going to make 3 breakthroughs today. And it's just a reminder of why this work is so important and why everybody should unlock this version for themselves. So, I mean, I'm always learning. I'm learning from you guys. Like it's always so humbling, so inspiring to sit with other creatives who are going through, similar journeys, and I'm loving it. It lights me the fuck up.
That's dope.
I love it. So if someone wants to say enroll or sign up for your
Send me a DM at Leanne Melody _ and just you wait for your life to change, girl. Boy. No, let's chat. Honestly, I launched this without even having built a course, without even having a website. I launched this through conversation. It came super naturally because it was something. It was a gap I found. It was a gift I had, and I knew that I needed to share that with people. So, if this is something that you're interested in, if you feel like you have a voice and it deserves to be heard, if you feel like there's something more and you're itching to find out what that is, but you're lacking the clarity, maybe you're a bit clouded, maybe you're not going through the best time because of the circumstance, and you want a little bit more self-love, if you want to focus on getting confident and mastering the art of shameless self-expression, if this is something that will benefit you and be of value to you, send me a DM.
That's hard.
Boom.
I love it.
Boom.
Boom.
And thank you once again to Leanne Melody.
Yeah.
This was a different type of episode that we had
Very
last time.
different.
This is a very different. I love
Deep.
the versatility.
But still good.
Well,
And
it's
then
still
still
0
good.
to 100.
Like real quick.
Either it's like we're twerking and we're karaoke and we're dancing and we're having fun, or we're talking about real shit.
Which is real.
I love it. So where can they find you?
Instagram at Leanne Melody or YouTube Leanne Melody.
Love
Or we just launched our business. I mean, we as in me and my team. I've hired a team called
Shout outs.
Impact Empire.
Impact
So
Empire.
stay tuned.